Playing with applications. The standard design of most of the apps is very similar. There's a main overview in which we can see all the lessons sorted according to the curriculum. Every lesson, as a result of the microlearning, is packed into a little theme. Personally, I think the microlearning is okay. I do enjoy the 10 to 15 minute lessons. It invites to take a lesson whenever we have a little time, during lunch break, waiting for an appointment, on the toilet. Finishing a lesson also sometimes gives a nice motivation boost. It nurtures the competence when we can think after a lesson. Now I know how pronouns work. Using particles isn't that hard. While taking compact lessons is convenient, I am worried that all those little snippets won't make a whole picture at the end. I feel confident using something in a specific lesson, but I'm not sure if I could easily connect them together. I keep looking for more input, because I think it's just a matter of time until microlearning reaches its limit. When it comes to gamification, I am very disappointed. I love games and I hoped it would introduce an additional fun factor. But the gaming elements often seem so out of place and some apps even force them onto us. Moreover, they are not even connected to our true goal, learning a language. Some elements are pushed into the foreground, functioning as a distraction. The language itself becomes more like a tool we need in order to reach the new goal. It would take too much time to cover every element, so I will concentrate on one particular experience of mine. The cake is a lie. After we complete a lesson, we are rewarded with experience points. If we collect enough experience, meaning completing enough lessons, we gain a level. After we leveled up a specific time, we unlock more lessons. Do we really need this level system? No. No, we don't. Some applications simply say, please finish all previous lessons. That is enough. I guess the level system should serve as a visual representation of our progress. But what does it really say? I am a level 7 in a Japanese progress? In video games, if we level up, our stats will improve, and we can see the effect. If I reach another level in the application, does it mean I'll automatically become better? No, it doesn't. It says we did something that rewarded us with experience points. People learn at different speed. Are good at certain topics and bad at others. It cannot be generalized. Also connected to the experience points is the streak mechanic. With every consecutive day we earn a specific amount of experience, our daily streak counter goes up. If the counter reaches a certain number, we are being rewarded with more experience points or in-app currency, sometimes even in the form of a goddamn loot box. The idea behind it is to make constant learning more interesting by offering extrinsic rewards. We shall learn because we want to learn, not because we have to learn. This mechanic implies we don't like learning and have to be rewarded in some way because otherwise we'd bail out. I was so negatively influenced by this, I even began to exploit the terrible design. A lesson which might teach me something new takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to finish, but it gives less experience than repeating an easy one 2 times within 5 to 10 minutes. Because it is bloody inefficient to take hard lessons, I ended up just farming experience so I could keep up the streak. After it said daily goal reached, I was satisfied and put the phone away. In the end, I did something every day and had a neat level to feel good about, but I believed a lie, because I learned far less than I thought. Learning the intrinsic way. A big part about the intrinsic motivation is to get into the right mindset. For me, everything I study, I try to weave into my daily life. It can start very early. Getting out of bed, you might think, betto, bed. On our fridge there's a poster saying Reizoko, fridge. On our phone, Google Translate found its way to the home screen, so we can look up words we don't know and want to learn. Let's add Japanese as an additional language, and sometimes add words and phrases to messages or tweets. Gambarimasu, I give my best. Or at one time we had some good coffee and thought, Sugoi, watashi no kohi wa oishii desu. Amazing, my coffee tastes good. On our way home, we listened to some Japanese bands you might enjoy. And while having dinner, we watched some subbed anime or TV shows. I found a learning app I really like. I usually spend 20 to 30 minutes a day taking a couple of lessons, most of the time during my lunch break or after dinner at home. This is about getting content, the more extrinsic part, acquiring something we can work with. There's no real way around the start of the curve. We have to deal with the flood of information somehow, if we want to or not. But the point is to keep the extrinsic motivation as low as possible. We need to keep an open mind and be curious. Some people might just focus on the class, the course, one fixed time they dedicate to their study. Outside of this time frame, they blank it out. For example, learning hiragana characters. Some sit down and practice 15 minutes straight with flashcards. I'm not a big fan of those. Instead, whenever I see some hiragana characters on signs and menus, etc., I stop the show I'm watching and I try to translate it. I think context and connection are important for intrinsic learning. Being aware of what we can do and how we can apply it. Some courses provide some mnemonics for characters, like A resembles an apple. Works for some, not for others. I will never forget that. Learning with cues and context helps us to remember things better, and I think learning with content we personally enjoy increases the effectiveness. Cues and mnemonics can have a stronger meaning, and thinking about something pleasant might also increase our well-being, but that just goes maybe a step too far. It is for free after we pay. Yes, it almost sounded too good to be true. There has to be a catch. Although I wouldn't necessarily call it a catch. Rather, ground rules and principles we have to know and accept.
Nothing in this world that's worth having comes easy.
We have to be conscious of what we're doing. Only noticing the post-it doesn't help. We have to actually read it. Copy a phrase out of a collection and paste it at the end of a tweet only improves our copy and paste skill. When watching a subbed show, we shall pay attention to words, phrases, grammar, etc. See if we can recognize something, or soak in how the language is really spoken, how it is pronounced, how accentuated. If we let it wash over us, we could also mute the show, or put a dictionary under our pillow. Learning will take some time. Why do you think I have a post-it on my fridge? Because by the love of God I cannot remember the kanji for freaking fridge. But it's not my cup of tea to sit down and try to brute force information into my brain. In university, when I studied for an exam, I usually made a big binder. And I simply read it thoroughly over and over again. Every time I got more and more correct, up until the point where I got stuck and had to specifically concentrate on the last missing 20%. When it comes to learning applications, I really don't like how every time we give an incorrect answer, a red "wrong" is displayed. Or a sad mascot looks disappointed at us with tears in its eyes. I'm immediately pissed off and it makes me go to the next questions without figuring out where my mistake was. Learning, like a meditation, is about getting back. We are not to judge ourselves if we mix up words, forgot a kanji or need to read a sentence for the third time. If our intention is true, we'll accept the fact we didn't know and start over. We will try to get it right the next time we walk past the fridge.